Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Mila, the Hangry Woman here, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of my absolute favorite drinks. It is a copycat version of the Starbucks Pistachio Latte. Before we get started, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you like coffee videos, videos about diabetes and living with diabetes. I myself live with latent autoimmune diabetes in adults, which is a slow progressing form of type 1 diabetes, and I share all kinds of tips and tricks and recipes and diabetes topics all over this channel. So if you love those things, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so you know exactly when new videos go live. I want to say I have talked about this recipe probably no less than 600 times. I love Starbucks Pistachio Latte, but a grande has like more than 40 grams of carbs, which is more than I would have in a single meal. And sometimes I find it to be a little too sweet. So I tweaked it a little bit on my own using some of my favorite coffee products and of course, doing it with my Nespresso, and I wanted to share that recipe with you. So you can find the recipe down below in the description box. It'll also be on my website at hangrywoman.com. If you want to give that a click, I'll put the link down in the description below, and I'm just gonna get to it and show you exactly how I make it. So we're gonna start with a few ingredients. If you saw my Monin syrup haul recently, I have the Monin pistachio syrup, which is top notch, so delicious. I also have Monin's sugar-free vanilla. I like to add this because I balance out the amount of pistachio syrup that I use and still get the sweetness from the sugar-free vanilla, but vanilla just brings out a nice nuttiness in the pistachio, so I think that it's a great flavor combination. And then of course we go for sugar-free so we can lower that carb impact and that carb count. Of course, we're still gonna get carbs from this drink, especially because we have some other ingredients with carbs, but the pistachio syrup, namely 1 ounce of that has about 20 grams of carbohydrates, so we balance it out. So we'll get there, trust me. Then I have filled a cup with ice, so you just need, ice cubes. Fill up the cup that you're using. We're gonna make an iced version of this today. Then I have my coffee. The coffee that I'm using today is Nespresso's Hawaii Kona. So that has a nice nutty flavor profile. It is a very strong tasting coffee. So you're gonna get a lot of that coffee taste, but I think the nuttiness of that coffee is gonna really balance out well with the nuttiness of the pistachio. And then like I said, the vanilla just kind of like kicks it up a notch in terms of flavor. Then we also have our oat milk. I use plain unsweetened oat milk. I think today I'm using Planet Oat as the label. I buy a ton and try a ton. I've made my own oat milk at home. I've done, like all kinds of experiments to figure out what's the best because plant-based milks don't always get super frothy, but that's okay. We're gonna get a little bit of froth from this oat milk. I find that Planet Oat is actually a really good one. It's a bit thicker. You can kind of see in the consistency that it's not as like watery, not as thin. So I think that one's a really good one to use. And then just to show you, I have my Hawaii Kona pod. So we have already brewed that and let it cool just a little bit. And then also a new toy that I'll be reviewing pretty soon is the Barista recipe maker from Nespresso. And so I had an Arancino and I liked it, but I felt like I could probably do more. And I thought that this was better for just like trying to do more drinks and like different kinds of drinks, which I think is pretty fun. So this does a whole lot of stuff. I'll be reviewing it in depth on my channel in the next couple of weeks after I get some use out of it and get used to using it and using it correctly. I also have a Creatista Plus. Can't remember if it's the Plus or Pro. I'm pretty sure it's the Plus. And that also makes drinks that you can steam and steam wand drinks, but sometimes I don't want to go through all of that, and I can just like bust out this and it's super easy to mix my ingredients in and get everything together. So that's what we're gonna do with it. So first thing is first, we're gonna start out by adding in our oat milk, and we're just gonna fill it in here to the line. Hopefully I don't put too much. Perfection. We're gonna measure out our syrups, and so we're gonna do 1/2 ounce of pistachio syrup. We're gonna add it to the Barista recipe maker. If you don't have a Barista recipe maker, you can always just blend this up together in like a cup. You don't have to be fancy about it, it's fine. So we'll do 1/2 ounce of our pistachio syrup, and I like to add it to the milk and whisk it and froth it. I think it just makes things a little bit easier, to be honest. And then you know that it's all gonna be nice and mixed together, which is great. And then we're gonna add 1/2 ounce of our sugar-free vanilla right to the top. It smells so good. Ugh, I love the scent of vanilla. And Monin sugar-free vanilla is one of those that like doesn't have that crazy artificial taste. And then for the Barista recipe maker, I'm gonna make sure that my attachment is in there nicely. I'm gonna place the top on, and then I'm actually gonna turn this to me for a second so that I make sure that I turn it on and I get the correct setting. And we want this to be really, really frothy. So I'm gonna do this as a latte macchiato froth. And so I just turned it on there, and it's gonna do its thing. So I have a little bit of milk left over here, and I'm just gonna kind of pour it into the bottom. It's just like a few drips, which is, you know, not a big deal. And then I have my coffee. I wanna talk about Hawaii Kona a little bit while we're doing this froth. I was trying to be cute over here, not necessarily functional. Okay, so grown on Mauna Loa's mountain slopes on the island of Hawaii, this special reserve is renowned for its exceptional aromatic richness. Coffee connoisseurs will be astonished by the fruity bouquet that reveals subtle nutty notes. A round and silky texture completes the unique character of this highly sought after coffee. So Hawaii Kona is just absolutely beautiful. Like in terms of taste, in terms of the texture, in terms of the nuttiness, it's great. It's a 1.35 ounce pod. And I believe that Nespresso is making this in a double espresso pod as well. I will take that out if that's not true, but I'm pretty sure that that was just released in the last couple of days. So, you know, Hawaii Kona is a really great pod to get. I got the original line pod, and I also got the Vertuo line pods. This one's the Vertuo line, and really happy with what I ended up with. I think it's just a great coffee. So we're gonna make our little coffee now, now that this is done. So this has frothed and settled just a little bit. And then I think the thing with the Barista recipe maker to acknowledge is that you want to take this out. So there's this little piece, and this is what froths everything. You want to take this out before you pour, or you need to hold it down because it will just flat out spill into your drink. So I'm gonna, this has like really nice foamy texture actually after it settled. So I'm gonna pour this out into my glass. It's gonna melt the ice just a little bit. So it's not all of it, but it's a lot of it. And then I'm gonna take my coffee and then do a nice pour over. It looks so good. And it's mixed really well, which is nice. And then I'm gonna get my straw here. Try not to mess anything up. And just do a little, tiny little stir. So like I said, recipes in the description box so that you guys can get a taste of it. But doesn't that look so nice? Such a nice looking little coffee. Like, oh, so excited. So let us do a little sip test. And like, it's so good. The sweetness from the pistachio along with the nuttiness of the coffee and that little bit of vanilla to bring out some more of the sweetness of the syrups. Just totally delicious. I'm so, so happy with this coffee. I think it tastes amazing. I've made this no less than 20 times since I've gotten my pistachio syrup. If you know, I just posted about it like a couple weeks ago. So I pretty much am making this every day, which I think is wonderful. I love it. So I'm gonna pour over a little more of the milk just to top it off, but look at how delicious that looks. It's so pretty, so good, so yummy. So that's it for this video, guys. Like I said, the recipe is down in the description box below. I also am just so excited and so happy to have you here. So make sure you do be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you liked it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching and take care of yourselves. Bye.